All right. I don't know exactly what happened, but let's start now. This what I want to share today is from a Farbrengen that Rabbi gave in Parshas Behar in 1986, Tavshim Vav, 87, where Parshas Behar fell out after Pesach Shaini and before Lag Baomer. And at Farbrengen, they give insight both about Pesach Shaini and about Lag Baomer. Just like in time, there are the days of the week and Shabbos, very different. During the days of the week, we're involved in the physical, and Shabbos, we're involved in the spiritual. So too, there are some Jews which are like Shabbos, and some Jews which are like days of the week. Jews which are like Shabbos means Jews who are Torah scholars. They're only into Torah, like Shimba Yafai, who Tarasim Nasi always did was study Torah. And there are other Jews who they have to get involved with days with the mundane. So just like the Jews came to Moshe today and they said to Moshe that we want to have we want to make up for missing out on the first Pesach, Hashem gave them another chance. So to the Jews who aren't given the opportunity to study Torah all day, they also come to Hashem. They say to Hashem, it's not fair that you let everyone else study Torah all day and we don't. It's by divine power. It's not their choice of getting involved in business. Hashem made some Jews so they have to get involved in business. It's not their choice. It's Hashem's choice. They say to Hashem, why is it that we're worse off than the other Jews? Why is it you chose some Jews that can study Torah all day and do mitzvahs all day and just stay involved in the realm of Torah, and other Jews that they have to get involved in business? Why is it's not fair? So Hashem responded to Moshe, those Jews who said we missed out on the first Paschal Lamb, and Hashem said, I'm going to give you another chance. But Chassidic explains it's not just another chance. It's actually the second Pesach Sheni, is higher in a way in the first Pesach. Something better with the second Pesach than the first Pesach. And so too, Hashem tells the Jews who are involved in business that they have an advantage, they have a maila, they have something in them that surpasses the Jews who do not have to get involved in business. They have something better in them. Hey, what's Maxtel? Come learn about Chassidus. Wow. The word Pesach means to jump. So Pesach Shaini means a second jumping. When a Jew brings the Paschal Lamb, brings a Korban Pesach, what happens? He jumps into the infinite light of Hashem. You bring the Korban Pesach. What happens when you bring the Korban Pesach is you jump from where you are, and you connect to the infinite light of Hashem. That's what Pesach means. Pesach Shaini means it's not just you're jumping to reach the infinite light of Hashem, but it's even higher than the first Pesach. What exactly is higher about the second Pesach than the first Pesach? So it's not just that we're reaching this infinite light of Hashem. The Gemara says in Pesachim, page Ayin Vavam Beis, that the whole purpose of the Paschal Lamb is to be eaten. Unlike all the sacrifices, which we may eat some of it too, the Paschal Lamb is unique in that it's about eating it. It's about us eating it. So that means although we're reaching this infinite light of Hashem, yet it's not about just staying in the infinite, it's about something that we're absorbing inside of us and becomes part of us. That's what the meaning of this sacrifice is uniquely. So what's the meaning of the second Paschal Lamb? How is it better than the first? So if you look in the Mishnah lists a couple of things that the Paschal Lamb, the second Pesach, is different than the first. One is, when you ate the first Paschal Lamb, you're not allowed to eat chametz. Today, even the custom we have to eat matzah today, instead of the Korban Pesach, we're allowed to eat chametz together with the matzah. By the first Paschal Lamb, you can only eat matzah. You cannot eat chametz. So what does that mean? That means this infinite light of Hashem that we reach today, not only is it drawn down to the world in matzah kind of things, in holy kind of things, it's also brought down into chametz kind of things, brought down into things which are not matzah-like. What does that mean? There are Jews who are Torah scholars, and they experience God in their Torah and their prayer, and that's all they do. So they connect to Hashem in matzah ways. But there are Jews who are businessmen, and businessmen, they're able to accept and connect to Hashem and see Hashem, even the gashmias, even the physical. Rabbi Perlov writes in a story in his Kutas Sipurim, amazing story there, Brashab. He says that There was once two Chassidim, they were arguing about Yichud Ilah. They were arguing about the higher understanding of the oneness of Hashem. And the argument was, can a businessman also appreciate this truth? He also internalize this truth at the higher level of the oneness of Hashem. But there's nothing besides Hashem at all. All there is Hashem. Without going into intricacies of what it means, but can they get it? So one chassid said they could, one chassid said they can't. But it's hard for us to understand this because, like, we don't get so emotional about Torah. But it was like a fist fight. They were one guy took off his shoe, and it was crazy. So they came to Rabbi Rashab because he thought it was sacrilegious. How dare you say that a businessman can understand Nekuda alone? How dare you say that a businessman can get it? You're insulting the Torah. That's what he felt. So they came to Rabbi Rashab. Rabbi Rashab responded, "Yesh ve'el verstehen." Torah scholars understand it maybe, but businessmen could see it. The fact that there's nothing besides Hashem, they could see it. So what's unique is that they could see it also in chametz, also in the most mundane things. How does it work though? So Moshe says that there was a Roman emperor named Tunis Rufus. He was a terrible person, and he used to have conversations with Rabbi Akiva. And one of his conversations with Rabbi Akiva was about Shabbos. He asked Rabbi Akiva, "Ma yemi yamayim? What's special about Shabbos? Why do you think Shabbos is different than the days of the week?" So Rabbi Akiva responded, "I could prove it to you from the river Sambatyon. There's a river called the river Sambatyon. We don't know too much about this river today, but this river," said Rabbi Akiva, "during the whole week, it's very volatile. It throws rocks. The river throws rocks out of it. But on Shabbos, the river rests, and there's no rocks. So you could see in the river itself that Shabbos is different." That's what Tunis Rufus. That's what Rabbi Akiva told Tunis Rufus. So the question Rebbe has like this: we're not talking about a verse in the Torah. We're talking about a physical phenomena in the river. And there's a non-Jew who lives in the world as well. So how come he needed Rabbi Akiva to tell him about the river? Why didn't he know about the river himself? How come he needs Rabbi Akiva to tell him about the river? And if this is something otherworldly that needed Rabbi Akiva to tell him, he doesn't know by himself, he can't see it in this world. So then how does it help Rabbi Akiva? How is he convinced by Rabbi Akiva saying it to him? Manashach. If it's something that he could see himself, he shouldn't need Rabbi Akiva. And if it's something that he can't see himself, and only it's something beyond the world, so what does it help him? Akiva tells it to him. He's someone who's asking that he doesn't see anything different about Shabbos. It's not like the Rizhner Rebbe was once in class with the other students, and they were learning about how the laws about what do you do if you're caught in the desert and you don't know what day is Shabbos. So the Rizhner Rebbe asked his teacher, said, "I don't get it. How a guy that doesn't know what's Shabbos?" And the Rizhner Rebbe's not understanding, and the teacher explains to him, "Well, you went on the road, and you left, and you didn't know, you're in the desert, and you went to sleep, and he still doesn't get it." He says to his teacher, "Just look at the sky. Look at the sky. You could see on Shabbos, the sky is different." So this Tunis Rufus is not like the Lahavdil, like the Rizhner Rebbe. He can't see anything in the sky. So it can't. So what does it help? The Akiva tells him about the river Sambatyon. If he doesn't get it by himself, why is it help the Akiva tells him? The answer is that Hashem made the world in a way that we are connected to the divine energy that animates the world. Hashem made the world in a way, not that the world runs on automatic pilot, but every single moment, every single thing in the world is renewed by Hashem creating that thing again and again, every single moment. There's no moment where Hashem is not recreating the world. Hashem could have made the world in a different way. The world is logically, the way Hashem built logic, since the world is something brand new, it's not something that like, even if the example it says in Tanya, even if you change the nature of something slightly, you throw a ball to the air, you need a constant force to keep it there. So much more so to bring something totally new into existence, there has to be a constant force for this thing to be there. But that's just according to logic. But Hashem chose to make the world in a way of logic. Hashem chose to make the world in a way that we constantly need divine force in it, because Hashem wants us to connect to Him. And He also built the world in a way that with our logic we could see it. Now, it's not so overt and so clear that without making the effort that it's obvious to everyone, because then we wouldn't have free will. Hashem wants us to have free will. Since He wants us to have free will, therefore Hashem hid somewhat the godly energy in creation. But he didn't hide it in a way that we can't get it with our minds. If we dig deeper into the world, we could see the godly energy in creation. So if you look deeply, the Rebbe says, every moment we could see in every single detail of the world how it's being animated by Hashem. It's not in a way that sticks out. We have free choice. And that's the mission of a Jew. The mission of a Jew is to reveal Hashem in the world. It's not overt, it's not clear. And that's why Tunas Rufus needed Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva didn't prove to him that Shabbos was different from a Pasuk in Chumash. He didn't prove it to him from the Torah. He proved it to him from the world. But he proved it to him in a way that this non-Jew could see it too. He revealed to the non-Jew the truth of the Torah. He revealed to the non-Jew the truth of Shabbos. So, and he did in a way that he accepted it, that he understood it, that he saw it. Indeed, Shabbos is taka different. So what that tells us is that this is just an example of what a Jew's role in the world is. A Jew is meant to reveal the truth of Hashem in the world itself. It's not overt, it's not obvious, but with a little thought, you could see it. And once you do, you could reveal it and you could explain it in a way that even a non-Jew could also see. So just like this is true regarding Shabbos, this is also true regarding everything in the world. For example, Rabbi said that nature indicates infinite power of Hashem. Every moment, the fact that the world runs in a consistent way, the sun rises every day and it sets every day, it runs in a consistent way. What's the reason that the world's able to run consistently? Consistency, it says in the Chassidic, indicates something infinite. Usually, if there's a force, if the force is limited, so then it wanes out, it dissipates. But Hashem told Noach after the flood that day and night, summer and winter, autumn and spring, all this will not change. They'll always go on. And how do they go on? They go on in a way that there's no change whatsoever. Why don't they have any change whatsoever? It's because there's an infinite power that's animating them, and therefore they can continue on. There are some people, Rabbi says, who think that if they learn science, they will know the reason why it doesn't change. And that it's not really the infinite power of Hashem, it's something which could be explained. It's not the infinite power of Hashem. You don't need the infinity to cause the phenomena of the consistency in nature. Some people think, if I would only learn science, I would know that science would explain to me why there's this consistency. It's not the infinite power of Hashem, it's something which is rational can be explained. But the Rebbe says it's not true. Science doesn't tell you why things are the way they are. Science only tells you what things are. Science, for example, said the Rebbe, science tells you that if there's a power of gravity in the world, so if you take an object and you throw it and you let go of it, it's going to hit the ground. Why is it going to hit the ground? Because the earth has this power of gravity. But why does it have the power of gravity? Science doesn't tell you. Science just tells you that the earth has a power of gravity. Science tells you what, doesn't tell you why. So why is it that it says that the sun is shining the same way as it did when God made the world? And the springs and the summer and autumn and the fall, all these seasons consistently recurring in day and night. Why is it? It's only because of the infinite power of Hashem. And so if you think about it with your thoughts, you're able to discover not just that in the way that you could see, but again, like the story of Rabbi Akiva revealed to Tunas Rufus that Tunas Rufus should also recognize the truth of Shabbos. And that is the unique mission of Jews who have to get involved in the world and do business. Their role is, in the language of Pesach Shaini, their role is to reveal the infinite light of Hashem even in chametz, even in the mundane. Sometimes when you're doing business, you could see divine providence in a very clear way. With very little effort, all of a sudden there's some amazing deal that you see Hashem's guided your steps. Hashem made things happen. Or chas v'shalom, sometimes the opposite. So businessmen can see more than Torah scholars. Torah scholars were in the tents of Torah. Another occasion, Never said that nowadays our Torah scholars also see the world a lot, because I guess they're not the same kind of Torah scholars today aren't like Torah scholars. So they're also involved in the world enough to see divine providence. But anyway, so that's the message of Pesach Shaini that said they could take, that they could see that their mission is. That's how, and they ask Hashem, why we were worse off than Torah scholars? Why we are worse off than those who are able to spend all the day studying Torah? So Hashem says, I'm going to give you Pesach Shaini. I'm going to give you the opportunity to have Pesach, to jump, to reach infinite light of Hashem, but in a way that's connected to Chametz, in a way that's connected to your light. That's your unique mission. Not you're worse off. You have something unique that you could do that they can't do. You could reveal the truth of Hashem in Chametz. You could reveal divine providence. And looking back on your day and your week, the previous episode said any person could look back at the last day or week and see that they see things that didn't make any sense, how these things connected. And they did. So that's the lesson of Pesach Shaini. Then the Rebbe continues and says, this Shabbos that the Rebbe gave the Farbrengen was, again, the Shabbos after Pesach Shaini and the Shabbos before Lag Baomer. So there's a message also from, as we approach Lag Baomer, especially Shabbos before Lag Baomer, you have to already begin living with the Shem Yochai. The person may ask, what do I have to do with Shem Yochai? Shem Yochai was a very unique tzaddik, not just a tzaddik, but among tzaddikim themselves, he was a unique tzaddik among all tzaddikim. But yet we see that on Lag Baomer, nobody says Tach. We all skip Tach. Why do we all skip Tach? That shows that the Yontif, the holiday, is not just for the tzaddikim, not for Shem Yochai. It's for everybody. Everybody skips Tach. So, what is the Yontif? What are we supposed to learn from Shem Yochai? We're not at the level of Shem Yochai to learn Torah all day like he did. His MO was only the study of Torah. He didn't go to work. His students didn't go to work. The Gemara actually says many people tried to do what Shem Yochai did and they couldn't do it. Many people tried and they couldn't do what he did. So how are we all supposed to learn from Shem Yochai? We're not at that level. So the answer is like this. Even though we cannot be like Shem Yochai all the time, however, every Jew is meant to have a time they spend studying Torah. They have a limited amount of time, but they have time. And that time, while they study Torah, they have to feel that they're like a student of Shem Yochai. They're totally detached from the world, and all they're doing is studying Torah. Like the Rebbe said that when you're studying Torah, it's supposed to be like Shabbos. You're not you're not answering your phone. Doesn't mean not looking at your phone. Maybe you're learning Torah from your phone, but not answering your phone because it's Shabbos. It's Shabbos, just like Shabbos. That's Rebbe's words. It's just like Shabbos. And the Rebbe actually said that if you do this, your family will understand. If they know that this is like important to you, that this is a time spent studying Torah, they'll respect it also. So a Jew may say, if I'm responsible for my business, how can I really detach? Like you can go scuba diving, but when you go scuba diving, why are you alive? Because you have a little thing which is attaching you to the oxygen. It's possible that you're in Torah right now, completely learning Torah, but you still, you have your phone on in case something happens. You have, the text message, the WhatsApp, the email. You're aware. But how can if you're responsible, how can you completely detach? How is it possible to completely detach? It doesn't seem that it's a good idea because you're responsible. You could do lots of other things, but the person may ask, the Rebbe says, how can I completely detach? So the answer to this, the Rebbe quotes a passage in the Medrash in chapter 52 of Shmos Rabbah. It says like this: Rabbi Shimon Yochai and many students weren't so wealthy, and they came to a valley. Rabbi Shimon Yochai said to the valley, "Valley, be full of gold coins." Valley, it wasn't San Fernando Valley, it's another valley. Valley, be full of gold coins. You know what a valley is, right? Not a mountain. So immediately, without any work, without any effort, all of a sudden, boom, the valley is full of gold coins. But then he told the students, anyone who takes now is taking from the world to come. So it sounds like that none of the students would want to take, because if they take now, they're losing on the world to come. But the Rebbe said that you look at this Medrash in the deeper way, you could actually see the opposite. There's something else Medrash is saying as well. And that is as follows. Actually, tonight is the anniversary of the day when the manna bread and the month started to fall. When the Rebbe gave the Farbrengen, it was also the 15th of the year. Shabbos, apparently Pesach Shaini was on Friday, so Shabbos Behar was the 15th of the year. The 15th of the year is the day when the manna bread started to fall. What was unique about the month? What was unique was that the mun was a godly food. It was a physical food, but it remained godly. How so? That when you ate it, you didn't have to go to the bathroom. It didn't have any negative effects on the body. It was pure, holy God food that had no negative impact. It was completely absorbed by the body. It was also not just absorbed, but it says also in Chassidus that the Torah could only be learned by those who ate the mun, which means two things. Number one, people ate the mun and no worries, but also the mun itself makes you more refined. I think Chassidus compares the mun to the matzah. On Yid matzah and Pesach, so the matzah itself gives you faith in Hashem. The matzah itself has faith in Hashem. It's a spark of Hashem in it. The Rash says, when you're eating matzah, you're eating godliness. To eat matzah, you're eating not just a food that is a mitzvah that Hashem told you to eat, but the food itself you're eating is godliness. And that's why the Rizal says, by eating the matzah, you're nourishing your faith in God all year. So in a similar way, Rabbi Shimon Yochai told the students that if you take these coins, you're taking from Gan Eden, What he meant to tell them was that there's a spirit, if you will be my student, not all day, but even some of the day, if you'll detach and you'll cut the cord and you'll scuba dive and you won't completely let go, completely. Not that you're also, well, just in case your phone is face up, your phone is face down. No, there's nothing. You're not involved at all. You're totally cut off. It's Shabbos for you. If you do that, says Shem Yochai, then I promise you that you will see in your business that you will have coins from Gan Eden. Coins that you could use. They're golden coins that you could use. But these coins will be like from Gan Eden, meaning they'll have a supernatural, infinite blessing in your finances. By you cutting off from the physical and spending time studying Torah, instead of it weakening, instead of you being in a precarious position, the opposite. Shem Yochai says, if you'll be my student, you'll see miraculous success in business. As Rabbi once said, that every moment you spend studying Torah brings hours of success in business, which means you spend time in business, you have success. It's a waste of time. Do the opposite sometimes. So Shem Yochai says, if you'll be my student, you'll see that the coins, the physical finances in your life, you'll see they come from Gan Eden. They have a supernatural blessing in them. So it's not that he's telling the students not to take. He's telling them to take. Take now from what's higher than the world. If you'll be my student, yes, we can't be a student all day, but if you'll be my student for a part of the day, you have a time set off in the day, that's Shabbos, you will see a miraculous blessing. So these are two lessons we have from Pesach Shaini and from Baomer. From Pesach Shaini, we learn that a businessman has to feel that his role is not less than the Torah scholar. He says to Hashem, I'm worse. Why am I worse? Hashem says, you're not worse. There's something you do that they can't do. You could bring, they only see godliness and matzah. You can see godliness and chametz. That's your role. That's why Hashem gave you this role to do business. But number two, so they have to be involved in the world. They have something unique to do. On the other hand, we see from Baomer that part of the day, they're meant to detach completely and be a student of Shem Yochai. And not only that, not hurt their business. In other words, Hashem may have given you a mission to. Chavetz Chaim had a student who had to join the Polish army. So he asked the Chavetz Chaim if he's allowed to eat non-kosher. They heard the story was. Chavetz Chaim said he could. His life is in danger. He's in the army. He's allowed to eat non-kosher. So Chavetz Chaim visited him once in the army, and he started to cry. The student said it was dinner time. He didn't seem like it's a plate of non-kosher food. He says, why are you crying? He says, you told me I want to eat non-kosher. He says, yeah, but why are you sucking the bones? Remember, right? Why are you sucking the bones? So in a similar way, maybe Hashem has told us that we have to get involved in the world, but our yearning, what we want has to be, we want to study Torah. We learn from Pesach Shaini that Hashem gives us a mission in the world as well. True. But we learn from Baomer that we have to yearn to study Torah, and to actually set aside time every day. That's our Shabbos, that time we enjoy. You're allowed to enjoy part of the day. It will bless your business to enjoy part of the day. It's not like I owe it to myself. You owe it to your business. You work in the business, you have to also work on the business. Or you have to work on the business, so you're doing something else. It's not directly connected to your business, which is helping your business. So just like Shabbos, every day Shabbos every week Shabbos is a day that blesses your business. You don't think I'm sacrificing business for the sake of Shabbos. You know Shabbos blesses your business. So the time spend being a student of Shem Yochai, time every day you spend in a Shabbos-like way, you should know that this is not hurting your business, it's blessing your business, it's helping your business. You're working in the business sometimes, and when you're studying Torah, you're working on the business. You're giving every moment brings hours of success. The questions, comments.
But all the time they said you have to bow to rabbis because the knowledge you have Hashem picking to them. But I never say bow to the man working in the field.
Are you saying it says in the Torah to honor those who are studying the Torah? It doesn't say to honor the one who's working. So it's interesting. I don't know if this answers your question or not, but I think it was the Rebbe Marash. The one served. I know, but you're saying a point. The Rebbe Marash, the one served the Rebbe Marash, Mayim Achreinim in a silver. You know they make them. You know Mayim Achreinim, right? After you eat bread, you're supposed to wash your fingertips. So they brought the Mayim Achreinim in a silver cup. So the Rebbe Marash said that's something which after Mashiach will come. Then it'll be appropriate that there'll be a silver cup for the Mayim Achreinim. And he explained that the Mayim Achreinim is associated, not for today, but the Mayim Achreinim is associated with business, and that although a person may involve in business, a holy purpose for it, there's also some negative as well. There's also some negative. Not totally. You're ruling Hashem in the world, but there's also some challenges you have because of that too. It's not But Mashiach will come, will be revealed the opposite. Will be revealed, Mashiach will come, that the Mayim Achrenim, which is our involvement in the world, will be something to put into a silver cup.
Thank you, Rabbi.
That was recorded.